beautiful unicorns. Welcome back to my weekly live video called Get Your Shit Together Weekly Live Guidance with Yana Kasperczak. I almost forgot the title. And for today's topic, actually, before we go into the topic, Yana Kasperczak, your spiritual awakening core energy coach, and my soul's purpose is to help you do just that. Get your shit together so you can live the life that you are happy and joyful to wake up to, and start escaping that mental prison that you find yourself in. So to help you do just that today, the topic is on how to know if you are ready to heal, and most importantly, the hacks that will help you to get there, that will help you to heal faster and quicker. So let's answer the first part, how to know if you are ready to heal. It's a very simple answer, but it does not feel simple. The simple answer is that you're ready when you become aware that there is healing that needs to take place. That is when you are ready. It's like, when are you ready to have a child? When you decided to have a child and you conceived one, and then afterwards it's coming. So once you start spiritually awakening, that's when you realize and recognize that you are ready to heal. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to be going back and forth, healing and not healing, doing the work and not doing the work. It's a yo-yo until you start noticing the differences that you have been making in your life, and it becomes almost like not a choice, that you are already healing. So when do you know if you are ready to heal? Or if you are ready to heal, or how to know when you're ready to heal, is when you become aware that there is healing that needs to take place. And how do you become aware? Triggers. You get triggered. You get hurt, and you experience emotional pain that you can't seem to shake off. You can't seem to move past anymore. That is when you know that you are ready to do the work, especially in those areas where you feel stuck, when you feel like this is too much and I can't deal and I can't do. And I know there's some of you in this group that might be feeling this way, that have been feeling this way. And this just means that you got to pause and decide, what does healing mean to you? Feel free to enter these questions down below for everyone else to see your response and to help them. So to see if the next question would be, what does healing mean to you, and what does healing look like to you? What does healing feel like to you? And most importantly, how would you want, if you had a choice on how to approach healing, how would you approach your own personal healing every single day? That would be lightness, that it would be lightheartedness would be part of that, would be fun, that would be comfortable, but not too comfortable, because if we're too comfortable, then we're not growing, we're just staying the same. We need to be outside of our comfort zone, because everything that we want, everything that we need, everything that is ours is outside of the comfort zone. So that's how you know that you are ready to heal. And I'm going to keep this video short and sweet. And now let's move on to the hacks. The hacks that have worked for me, that had really helped me to heal. Now, hack number 1. I'm going to ask it in the question because it will be a little bit different for everyone. What is it that you really, really enjoyed doing when you were young? When you were a child, or when you were a teenager, or early 20s or 30s, whatever age you feel like is calling you, where you really loved enjoying doing something that allowed you to feel freedom, that allowed you to express yourself and feel comfortable with yourself, that allowed you to feel maybe even empowered by your own self. So for me, that was and still is dancing. As a late teenager, because the first time I went to a club, I was 18 years old, and I only went clubbing for like 2 years, and not every single day. It was just once or twice a week, and you get tired because I also had 2 jobs at that time as well. So it was dancing, and when I would dance in the clubs, it would be dancing on the stage. When you have enough liquor in you, all of a sudden you become nice and brave, and you can do things that you normally wouldn't do. But at the same time, is that the truth? Or is this what I think is true? I would say it's what I think it's true, and it is not the truth, which means that I'm more than capable of doing now, being entirely sober. I just didn't do it then. So the reason why I bring this up as hack number 1 is that when you are not feeling good, or if you're feeling distraught, or if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling down, whether you're feeling sadness or you felt sadness for long enough, because depression is when you felt sad for long enough and then it becomes depression. Now, there's different types of depression. There's also clinical depression, but this is not what I'm talking about here. I'm not clinically trained in that kind of depression. I am more trained and knowledgeable when it comes to the normal, what is normal depression, right? To the depression of life, of having too much to do, to deal with, and feeling completely incapable of coping. And so dancing was something that worked for me, and I would love to hear what was something that worked for you. So number 2, what I would say is you gotta feed your brain. Nutrition, you are what you eat. We've heard this phrase many times. Now, I want to apply it onto your brain, because when it comes to the gut health, we get that. And if you don't get it yet, you will get there. And perhaps this can be a topic for another video. Today, we're mostly in the mind and the healing. So what you feed your brain is very important. And it's going to make you or break you. And most importantly, thinking about it as the book ends. Morning and night, right before bed and right when you wake up. This is when you are the most programmable. This is when you are open, especially in the morning, the first 20 minutes of your morning. That is a hack, guys. If you listen to a podcast first thing in the morning, that is going to give you lots of good, healthy information, then you're starting your day right, because breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now, breakfast is not just what goes in your belly, what goes into your mind as well. This is why you've experienced this as well. When you woke up in the morning and, let's say your kids or your partner or someone maybe received an angry email and there was someone upset at you, that ruins or could ruin your whole entire day if you do nothing about it. How you start your day is how you will end it. So if you start on a high note, you're going to end on a high note. If you start feeling like crap, that's how you're going to end it. So feed your brain good food. First 20 minutes of your morning cannot be on social media. Social media is not going to give you good food unless it's in this group and you're going, or groups like this, not not just saying just this is the only group there is. There's many other groups like it. But this one is unique unto itself, just like all the other groups. They're unique unto themselves. So feed your brain good information. If you are going on social media, then listen to things that are going to inspire you, motivate you, help you to set intentions for the day, that are going to give you knowledge and wisdom that you need it. That's why you would be hearing it. Whether it's on this social platform, YouTube is great. You can listen to YouTube podcasters on there. Our podcast, Heal the Unicorn, is on on pretty much all the platforms. We'll be adding more podcasts onto there soon enough. For now, there are quite a few that you can listen to if you haven't listened to them, and you can listen to them even as you drive, because you can download them. What else? Before bed, the same concept. It's like, if you fill yourself up with junk right before bed, your dreams are going to be junk. Your sleep quality is going to be junk. And no amount of quantity of sleep is going to give you the quality of sleep, because oversleeping has an opposite effect, and it's just as unhealthy as undersleeping. So figuring out what the right amount of sleep is for you. So what you put in your brain is what is also going to stay there. It's going to replay, and it's going to add to your sleep or take away from your sleep. And on top of that, it will seep into your morning. And then on top of that, if you're listening to another podcast or another video like this, or listening to an audiobook, that it's going to prime your brain. And you've heard of compounding effect, compounding interest, interest on top of interest, interest on top of interest. The same goes for you and your healing and for your journey. Put in good information every single day, morning and right before bed. First thing in the morning and right before you go to bed. Be vigilant about who and what is entering your house, called your mind and your body. So that. Now, how about another hack that really, I feel like really helped me when I needed the help, when I was really deep down in this deep rest of the trenches, as I like to refer to it. And deep rest is depression. When I was really depressed, I was deeply resting. And what worked for me was listening to binaural beats with headphones, listening to them as much as I possibly can and could throughout the day and at night when I was sleeping. Because just because you're sleeping does not mean that your subconscious is sleeping as well. It is awake. It's paying attention. It knows what's up, and it's taking in information. So that is a literal hack to reconditioning your brain. And reconditioning your brain with binaural beats, what it's doing is it's fixing the frequency that has been a little bit tainted at this point, or a lot tainted at this point. So you want to realign the vibrations in your brain and in your mind. So listening to that, listening to affirmations as I would sleep as well. Now, initially I was doing it every single night, but little by little it would be some nights and not every night, because the brain needs rest as well. And we can't get the quality sleep when there's distractions, when we have noise and sounds, when there's lights around. So having blackout curtains is another hack. If you're able to wake up without alarms, it's definitely a hack, because waking up to alarms, that right away puts your body into fight or flight, adrenaline, and that's not the way that we're meant to be waking up. But not everybody is able to wake up naturally. So what else? So if you're able to make sure there's no phone in your room, no, I know some people also even turn off their Wi-Fi and all things like that in their house to allow for, or completely not have it in their house to allow for more restful sleep. So there's that. Another hack I'll share with you is passwords. Okay, so this one is a really great hack. I want you to think about, do it with one password. Think about the password that you use to log in to something or go to a place every single day, the one that you're using all the time. So some of you might have a job where you gotta use password every single time, or maybe it's different types of passwords for different programs, different things. So what I want you to do now with a password is, now I want you to think about, what is the one thing that you really want to experience, feel, or have in your life? So, for example, there was one woman that I worked with, and for her, what she needed and wanted was to be sober. And being sober included not just using a substance, but staying off social media and staying off Netflix, because for her, she was also addicted to Netflix. It would be the first thing she wakes up, going to Netflix and watching something on Netflix. So, because addictions, they come in different shapes, waves, and forms, and we want to be sober from them. So she wanted to be sober. So she came up with a password. It needs to be different and unique, right? And something that is going to give you what you want without you doing too much work. So her password was the letter A with a curl, @sober for number 4 life. @sober for life. And before she knew it, she stopped showing up for Netflix. She stopped consuming as much as she initially was of the substances that she wanted to stop consuming. And as she continued to use the password, she didn't even feel a need, or not necessarily a need, it was that attachment to the substances or to Netflix. So she became in control of watching Netflix when she allowed herself the time, because we also worked on boundaries and setting healthy boundaries and putting some structure and habits and healthy habits in place as well. And so this is what ended up happening, is that there was no more, it didn't feel like you're being pulled towards those things, the addictions that we all have in our life. It just became so much easier, so much freer for her. So now, to wrap this up now, I wanted to share the 2 quotes that I really, really like, and I want you to think about them, as I'll share a little bit of my thoughts on them as well. This, how do I put it? This password, in a way, is a goal, right? If you are using a password for yourself, that is in a way what you're setting is a goal for yourself, right? Right or right? Yes or yes? Right? It's a goal. It's a dream. The difference between goals and dreams is this. Dream is something that you've never ever had, and you want that. So for example, if you've never had a child, so your dream is to have a child. Some would say it's a goal, but if you've never had a child, you don't know what it's like. So therefore, it is a dream for you to have a child. But when you already have a child and you want a second child, then that becomes a goal. When you never had a cat and you dream of having a cat, you've never owned one, you never had one in any way, shape, or form in your house. So it becomes a dream for you to have a cat. And then when you have one cat, the second one becomes now a goal. Same thing with the business. You've never had a business. You work for someone. For you, to build your business. It is a dream for you to build your business from scratch, and not just to build a business, but build a successful business from scratch, whatever that means to you, whatever that looks like to you, versus you've built one, now the goal is to build a second one. With a job, you never had a job before. Your dream is to get a job or to get a dream job. And then you go and have a job. Then the following would be a goal to have a different job, to have a better job, or a goal would be to have the dream job, right? So here's the quote. You don't achieve your goals, you grow into them. You don't achieve your goals. You grow into your goals. You grow into them. You become your goals. You become who you need to become in order for you to reach and achieve those goals. Now, the next one, let me see where I have written that one down. This one is really good, especially when it comes to healing. It is not what you endure. It is how you endure it. That's what matters the most. Because we all endure pain, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual pain. Each and every human being deals with it and endures it. But it's not in what you endure, it is in the how you endure it. That is the magic. How you endure it, how you deal with it. Are you reacting, or are you responding? Are you doing the work that you know you are ready to do? Because we established that in the beginning of this video. Are you doing the work that you know you are ready to do? Or are you avoiding doing the work that you believe you are not ready to do yet? Because both are important and both are valid and both approaches are needed. In order for you to be ready, to be fully ready, you need to break through that resistance of I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet. And even though you're going through I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet, you're getting ready in that process. You're being shown and reminded in different ways of how you are ready. And before you know it, you already are doing it. And like for me, I use myself as an example. Without going too deep into the story, my awakening really, like I became cracked open where I could no longer deal, or even wake up for the day, or even get my kids ready for school. Everything, every single thing. Like even now, I still feel like I just remember how it was for me and who I was at that time. That's not who I am anymore, but it just happened so seamless that I wasn't ready, and I was doing the work, just doing the work, even though I'm not ready to be that person. I couldn't even brush my teeth. I couldn't even shower. I couldn't even get ready and get out of pajamas. I couldn't deal. I couldn't do anything. It was, I can't, I don't want to, I'm not ready, this is too much. All I wanted to do was sleep. All I wanted to do was cry. All I wanted to do was just sit in a dark room. All I wanted to do was just disappear. And what I did was the hacks that I was telling you guys. Through tears, through my mornings was panic attacks, through anxiety, through tears, through vomiting, because I would vomit almost every single morning because I was in fight or flight every single morning, which led into the whole day and into the evening, and then compounding effect. I wasn't investing in myself, right? So my investment was coming back 10 times fold with this pain and suffering. So what I started doing was the very things that I shared with you guys. I couldn't listen to myself. I couldn't even lie to myself. I couldn't even lie to myself that I could feel better. I couldn't even say that. So I started listening to podcasts. Actually, I started listening to music, Bob Marley music. Don't Worry, Be Happy. All of his songs, just listen to them and just cry and release and feel what I needed to feel. Now that kind of stuff compounded as well. So I realized that that wasn't really helping me as much as I thought it would. So I switched it up. I started listening to affirmations. I couldn't tell myself anything positive about myself because it was just impossible. So I allowed others to tell me what they thought of me, even though it wasn't someone telling me directly. It was indirectly, listening to affirmations, and I listened to them. I would listen to them the whole entire day, the same one over and over and over again. Find the ones that are right for you. The best ways, whatever word, healing affirmations or awakening affirmations or positive affirmations or healing them. Anything that comes to mind for you is followed by affirmations. And then binaural beats, you can include that in the search of YouTube. Listen to those every morning and then every evening. So also when I would feel anxiety or panic, I would get into the plank position and I would do push-ups. I couldn't do too many push-ups. I don't want you thinking that I can do like even the 10 push-ups. I don't do them now. Now I just dance. I turn music on and I dance and I dance and I dance. So now what I do is every time I feel even the slightest amount of discomfort, I pause and I decide right then and there what I'm going to do with it. Am I going to ignore it? Because sometimes it is actually a conscious choice. So I'm like, no, I'm just going to let this one slide. I'll let this one be. And I will continue watching my Netflix, or I will continue cleaning, right? And then afterwards, if I still feel this way, then I'll address it again. And whereas thinking back to 7 years ago, I will feel a little bit of discomfort and I would go into it in the way of not even addressing it, not even thinking about it, and just spiraling out of control. And right away, if I feel bad, then I must be thinking bad thoughts. So I would think all the bad thoughts and not do anything about it at all. And there was even time when I knew what I needed to do, what was going to help me, and I chose consciously and unconsciously not to do anything about it because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And until we are ready, and the ready is, okay, ready is also being a choice, which sounds like this. Okay, right now, I'm not feeling the greatest, and I know what I need to do. I can go for a walk, I can meditate, I can listen to music, I can dance to music, I can scream into the pillow, I can cry, I can do the push-up, or I can do plank dance. I don't particularly enjoy just the plank because just standing still, I'm like, no. Even when I'm standing in lines, I don't enjoy standing still. I was gonna say I can't stand still. I can. It's that I don't want to. And if somebody doesn't like it, well, go stand somewhere else. You don't have to look, right? If you want to say something, you can say something, but otherwise, not my problem. Yeah. So I think this is where I shall end it. And this is more than enough information to get everybody started with these hacks where you are not even doing anything physical, not asking you to write in a journal or write responses to questions or ask yourself questions. Just feed your brain. Just give your brain what it needs through passwords, through podcasts, through this video or these types of videos, through books, through conversations as well. You have a support system, and if you don't, find one. Now, it's not necessarily a hack because that will involve more time and effort and energy. That is something that it would be considered work, and highly recommend doing the work because it makes everything so much easier. Starting with the hacks and then moving into doing the work and deciding what work you do want to do and what work you don't want to do. And understanding who you are is really going to help you to identify what you want and what you don't want. And I say this because every woman that I work with and talk with, they tell me that they don't know who they are, but they know what they want. And my response is always in the form of a question, and I will leave this question with you. If this is where you are right now, and you don't know yourself, you don't know who you are, or what you are, but you know what you want in life, this is the question I ask. How can you know what you want if you don't know the very basics of who you are? That's it. That's a question I have for you guys. I'll let you ponder on that one, and I would love to hear the response below as well, or feel free to send me a message. My door is open. You want to chat, you want to have a conversation, I am open to that as well. I will help you however I can, and if you are ready to do the deep work and healing on yourself, for yourself, and not just for yourself, but for everyone else in your life, because when you work on yourself, it affects everybody else in your life, and in a positive way. But if you do a negative work, it's going to affect them in a negative way. So if you're going through really rough times, you can see that it's affecting people around you. If you're feeling amazing, you can see that that's affecting people around you as well. So if you're ready to do the deep work and ready to take on that challenge of yourself, then we can have that conversation as well. But otherwise, I will see you all next week on Monday on my live card reading, intuitive reading, and maybe even dream interpreting. I might incorporate that into some of the Monday videos, but typically there is a card that I do a card reading, and that one will be at 11:30 Eastern time on Monday. So we'll see you there, or the following week, also that same week, on Thursday, for another Get Your Shit Together weekly live guidance with myself, Yana Kasperczak, where we'll be covering another deep, uncomfortable topic that will allow you to grow in ways that you might have not even knew was possible. Like it was for me, where I was just doing a little bit, like I said, the hacks, because that's all I could stomach. And then one morning, my husband asked me, what did I do? What did you do? Because you are a different person. Yesterday you were one way, and today you're happy and you're joyful. And what did you do? And that's something that I didn't even notice myself, because it's such a gradual process. It's a compounding effect, compounding interest on top of the interest, on top of the interest, that one day you wake up and you don't see or really feel the work that you're doing as you're doing, and you do a little bit, but you don't see the effects until later. And when you see it, and you hear it and you understand it, you can't unsee it, and there'll be no going back afterwards. because that's how reprogramming happens. And that is all. Until next time. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.